Okay, so I hope you have all heard the topic. Having a good balance between work, family, and God in difficult times. Can you please introduce yourself again and the work you do, so that in the course of our discussion, whatever that you are saying, we can just oppose that one to your work and see how best we can pick experience from.
Thank you very much. My name is Seth Apia Okran.
Okay.
I'm in waste management, precisely I work with Zoom Lion.
Can you please?
My name is Seth Apia Okran.
Okay.
I'm in waste management. I work with Zoom Lion.
Zoom Lion, okay.
I'm in the head office. I used to be in Temaye, but currently I'm in the head office.
Wow. Let's give it to him. Sorry, when I mentioned your name, Mrs. Josephine.
No, I'm not Mrs.
You are not Mrs. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So please, Miss Josephine Adoma.
Yes. Okay, so I'm Miss Josephine Adoma.
That's right.
Yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do businesses, so like I'm not into one thing. I'm jack of all trades.
Okay. Wow. Let's give it to her. I'm tempted to ask you, the entrepreneur, but unfortunately, because of Pastor, I will not ask. The entrepreneur, I was about to ask. Okay, that's fine. So, having a good balance between work, family, and God in difficult times. So, yesterday, Pastor did justice to the topic in difficult times. So, the underlying word here is in difficult times. So, in our discussion, we will relate everything to difficult times. But starting from my first question, Mr. Okran, how can you balance work and family? I'm taking it to, I'm using the work as a pivot here. People give excuses that because of my work, I don't have time for my family. Because of my work, I don't have time for God's work. So I'm using the work here as a pivot. So how do you balance your work and family as a married man?
Thank you very much. I think in these two cases, both are priorities.
Okay.
You do not have, say, you put them on a scale of preference, I want this or that. Both are very important. We must work to feed the family.
That's right.
The family is what God has also given to you. And then you are also answerable to God tomorrow. So you don't take good care of your family. Tomorrow you need to answer to God. And I think as Christians, we have an obligation to do that. So I would say that both are very, very important. I said you want me to go further, and then please I can end here that work and care for family or family issues are very, very important. As a Christian, you need to marry the two. You don't give one a priority over the other.
Okay. Ms. Josephine.
Okay, thank you. As a work and family, it's a difficult thing.
Okay.
I don't know if I can give a little bit about me. I was in the corporate before.
Okay.
But because of childbirth, like when I gave birth to my first son, after 3 months, looking at this boy and leaving him for work, I was like, at a point, yes, I was trying because I didn't have my mother to stay with me to take care of the boy. So I had to resign, which at times I regret anyway, but I think it was something I was like, I thought of it and I'm like, no, let me just find something to do. That is what brought me into the entrepreneurship thing, so that I can have time for him, because he was a crying baby.
Okay.
Like any mother with a crying child, nobody wants to take your child. So you don't know how somebody is coming in to take care of your child. So the work and the family thing was a big something for me starting. And then I had to decide. The money, I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say I didn't need money,
Okay.
because I wasn't okay. I really needed the money, but I just couldn't see myself, because the work I was doing was very involving too, very, very involving. I could go to work and close like midnight, 12, So I didn't know how I was going to manage it at that time. So I just thought of, let me just resign and find something to do that I can get time for the boy. And the other ones that will come. So that is how I resigned. But not everybody will get that courage to do. But the family and work, I know we have working mothers who are managing it.
That's right.
I always salute them. Like, I give them a lot of applause. It's a very difficult thing to do as a mother. I think our fathers, with our mothers taking care of our children, some fathers do very much, but they are okay a little. But we, the mothers, working and the children is...
So let me ask you this. Okay, you can.
You see, if you are a father and you want to give all your time to work, tomorrow you may regret. I want to give a scenario of...
Can you take that one again?
If you are a father, and you give more attention to your work and neglect your family, you may regret tomorrow. And I'll give an example. My first place of stay when I started work, I stayed in the house. The man was a seafarer. In fact, the house was in tatters. I mean, the man's house was in tatters. The man had, I think, 3 boys and a girl. When he finally resigned from seafaring and came home, it was too late for him. Looking for money. He came home, and the case that he was to use the money to take care of them, I mean, they had gone wayward. So what will you gain? Now, again, as we fathers and work and home or family, some of us have taken our work as our everything, and we don't have time for the home. And that's also another issue. You know, we have mothers or wives, like my dear sister said, who have, I mean, we, the two of us have given birth. It's not just the mothers. But many a time, it's like we think it's the mothers who have given birth, and for that matter, everything is on the mothers. And we, the fathers, you just take your bag in the morning, off you go. Who takes care of the children? It takes the two of you. For instance, you are young, couples coming. I will give myself an example when we married. We are two, the first girl and the first boy. The first 2 children. Both of us were teachers, So we wake up early morning. Where we were living was far, and traffic was so much. So by 5, we should leave home. Can I ask the woman to just take up everything, the food of the children and the bath of the children? No. So while she's preparing food, I am also taking care of the children. So by the time she finishes, I'm also done. And then together, we go, and we were never late. But assuming I had left it with her alone, we'll always be late, and I'll be shouting, and where will be the peace in the house? So you realize that, as a father, yes, I had my work to do. She also had her work to do. But together, we had to take care of the house too. And if you're able to do that, you realize that at the end of the day, there's some kind of tranquility in the home. That's one aspect of it. And let me also say this into our young couples who are married again. Don't leave the work to the woman to do alone in the house.
That's right.
You work in the workplace. For instance, when both of you are working, you want the woman to do everything for you. I give myself as an example. My wife is a caterer. Sometimes, Saturday, she has so much to do. Their works are mostly on weekends. So do I say that she must finish the catering work and then come and go to market? When will she come back? When will we eat? So many a time, when she's working, I ask her, what do you want to buy? Get him the list. And I go to market myself. I do the market. After all, that's
right.
Of course. Some days, kind of joke. And then I do the shopping. If I don't tell you I've done shopping for my house, would you know?
Not at all.
Is it wrong? But men will say, oh, I'm too big to do that. It is work. Men, I'm this kind of bar. So once I put money on the table, the woman also asks something to do. The one you give to them, but do you know what she also asks after to eat?
Sure.
We don't know. So work and family or work and home, both are very, very important that as a man, you need to take charge of both. And I think once you're able to do that, you are good to go.
So in this scenario, I understand you better, or the audience can understand you better. Ada, let me take it that, assuming your wife is in Accra here, you have your work in Tamale, you go, come, maybe during the weekend. You don't have time for the family. So that's one. How do you cope with it?
Thank you very much. Now, you know very well that you work far away. You come and say Friday evening. You have basically Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, probably Sunday afternoon. You may have to leave early Monday morning, just 2-3 days. So you need to really plan very well. Set that when you come, you have time for the children.
Okay.
Because if you don't do that, a time will come, you see that the children will be so close to them. I have told myself that I don't want to be like my father. When I couldn't go to my father and also to my mother, I want my children to come to me equally, just as they go to the mother.
Right.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
We have the saying in our language that
Okay.
are you understand? So that when I come, I must find enough time to really have interaction with the children. You don't just say, weekend, you go. Where lies the beauty of the family? You must have some quality time, even if it is 2 or 3 hours that you have for the family. Do that before you go. Other than what's the sense of coming? Is it because of why that you are coming? You are coming for your wife. You are coming for the children equally. So when you come, you need to have time for them. Other than that, a time will come when you come, your children, when they see, they will not even have time for you. They will not even look at your face. Because when they come without your bar, or bremano. And then you may think your children are shying away from you. You started it. So it can even be 1 day, 1 hour. Make your children appreciate the fact that your children equally appreciate it.
Okay. Josephine, as an entrepreneur, you have taken an order from someone. The other person may be taking it maybe Saturday. As at maybe 8 p.m., 9 p.m., you are not done. There's much pressure. Now the person needs it very urgent. Your family is calling in the house. How can you balance these two? And this thing has been the routine that the family or your husband or your wife has been complaining of. How do you balance the two here?
This is like a very practical thing.
Yeah.
With me, let me put myself here. Normally, when I know things will crash up, at times that didn't even happen. Like last Saturday, I had this crash we're talking about, and I had to solve them. Now it's just me and them, the kids. So anything, either I leave them to their fate, and we don't have a help. My boy doesn't want anybody a help in the house, so I don't even have house help.
Okay.
And when even you have a husband around, in the sense, like as he's saying, help me out. But when you are just like this and it comes like this, it's difficult. But I've trained, at times you just train the kids to know what you do. I try to involve them. Like, this is what I do, and this is what is bringing the money home. So you all help me out. So I know I have backup. When I say backup, I don't know when that dates like this will come. So I pack the fridge in the sense that I have labels. Nana Kofi, you take label 1, label 2, warm it, you eat. So that they don't fall like mommy neglected them so much. And when I'm working and I'm so busy, they call me, we talk. We use the calling system a lot. I just don't want them to feel like I've neglected them and I'm doing something else. So at times I call them and they say, Mommy, work and stop calling us. Like, Oma Breme. Just balance I just try to put them inside it. When I go a long day, like when I'm on vacations, and then these things happen and I'm so stuck in town, then I have to be calling. What are you doing? They say, Mommy, do your work. We are okay. You see, so you balance it in a way that you don't really get them so left out, that they are going to be like, the work is more important than them. That is what I do, like, for me.
Okay. Mr. Apia, let me come to you again. The same question. Because I've met a couple of people who are entrepreneurs or who do their own businesses. And these issues are very challenging to most of them, men, women.
Thank you very much. Mine will not necessarily be even at work. Even when I'm home, it is even worse. Let me put this way. I was managing Tema waste management.
Okay.
And then I had, let's say, we had about 24,000 clients spanning from Tema West all the way to Ada. And people call you, they don't come and pick their waste. And a client can be with you on the phone for 1 hour. So sometimes I come home, my wife will be sitting by me, and she'll get angry and get up and go to the bedroom. Why? Who did you money for you? Who did you money for you? Who did you do for you? No, but so how's a menya on Wakasano? What travel so are they? Sometimes when we are traveling, I don't know what to do. But when the client calls you, our work is said that if the client, you don't know who is calling you. He calls you, you don't pick. For good reasons, before you realize, he will call
another person.
No, another person. You are fortunate.
Okay.
He will call Dr. Japan straight away.
Okay.
And he will not listen to you. So you must listen to the client, good or bad. You can be on phone. You finish this one, another person will come in. At a point, sometimes this thing became even a turn in the house. I said, no. At a point, so now I have to understand this woman. Because I realized that, I was doing her a great disservice. You had very little to do. The only thing is that you need to let her appreciate where you are coming from, because it's a service-oriented work that you are doing. And client wants something from you. Why his or her waste was not picked. You cannot just be go, this is 2 seconds and you go. You must let the client get satisfied. Yeah, until he or she goes off. You can't just go off the phone. And Obeka said, no, just say, client be something, no, phone so. Somebody called me 11:30 p.m. and he can say, so my waste in the house. So what should I do to my waste? Ojina phone is so be some question, Now, Papa, I feel if it's in Tema, I will arrange for something, even some more talking, whatever. But I feel Ojina lines are sent to what I'm saying is that this is what we go through.
Okay.
But you need to let your partner appreciate. You see, if you flare up or you get angry over some of these things, you are creating kind of a huge problem in your home. But once you talk through to your spouse and he or she understands you, it's the way you also communicate to the person, then he will understand that. So at about my race also, he said, Matthew, you must have seen Matthew has a mini problem. And even I know she was not that too happy, but at least she had come to understand.
Good statement?
Come again.
Is that a good statement?
As in, no. I mean, not in an angry.
Yeah.
I mean, but then she realized that, like I'm saying, this is what we do. So at the point, I had to sit there and explain A, B, C, D to her. And once she understood me, at least we were good to go. But initially, it was not easy at all.
No. All right. So, is there any questions so far? Okay.
I think I want Pastor to come with this kind of question.
Okay.
Those of us who probably may want to go into ministry maybe sometimes to come, ministry is such that it's very demanding. I have a friend who is an evangelist, and somebody can call him around 12 a.m. and the person, it's not that the person even needs prayer. The broken relationship is what the person is coming to talk to him about at that time. And some of these things, if you are married and you don't manage these things well, it may break your home. So how do you manage some of these things, Pastor? Because I know that the church members will be calling you. So I've been forced to be a panel member. Maybe I will place Madam Edna.
You'll be so glad.
No.
Yes, Pastor. We will appreciate it if you can join the panel. Let's welcome Pastor.
Okay. So I think what our daddy and our sister is saying is very true. Whatever you are doing, try to involve the family. Let the family understand, how things happen. But you must also try to put certain boundaries. Certain boundaries. So, in our pastoral work, for instance, where you are dealing with people, different issues, there are some issues that you may not even want to handle midnight like that. There are issues that you want to let wait, and you let the person appreciate why it is waiting, but then you are still working on, and you are able to get back on the person to tell how things are moving. And then there are also times that you need to bring in others who comes to assist. So, for instance, when an issue has to do much more to technical counseling, where I will just get in touch with a pastor who is a clinical psychologist and would then link. So then you are able to make time. Because in most cases, if you are not able to handle that very well, it will work against your family. And if you don't have peace in the house, it's something else. So just try. Either you bring in people, you let the family appreciate what is going on, and then it works better. The worst of it is that you want to handle it alone, even without your partner, the family, knowing what you yourself is also going through. That is the worst aspect of it. And most of the times, once you let the significant others around you know, they also appreciate, and then it goes. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Okay. Thank you very much, Pastor. So, how do you balance? No, let me start from Josephine. How do you balance your work and God's work?
I always tell my kids, we have the whole week to do whatever we have to do.
Okay.
God just needs a little time of our time. I'm not saying I'm perfect and come to church every time, but when it's God time, I tell them this is God time. When I don't come, when I have to work Saturday, tiresome, and I don't have to come to church on Sunday, I feel so guilty.
Because you can't dance.
Not a dancing aspect, but I feel like time Mama will be. I don't know, say what I say.
I understand.
So I try as much as I can, if not the evening services. But for Sunday, if everything, like, even if I go for any program and I come home at 4, maybe I'm sorry, because upon time, at least I'll give that one to God. So I try to incorporate that in the house. Say yamba weekday bibiani and Sunday service, unless we don't have we are very sick or something. I don't have that one in my house, like I don't feel like going to church. Oh, my fee. You see, so I try, say if you catch them young, you incorporate it in them like that. And then even if we don't have to be here, the small little things we do, like I tell them I'm their first pastor. So like those small things, teach them something, like tell them about God and try to, because this parenting thing, I don't know for people, but me, I should take a
Okay.
Yes, I feel it to be like, if I don't let them know, and then they fail, like I always tell them, if you misbehave and somebody sees you, they will insult me. So I try as much to balance the two. Like if we don't even have, first we used to do, we are not very consistent on it. We are trying to do like Bible teachings in the house, prayer thing. Even if we don't get, if you're on the bed, I'll just say, read this place, memorize it. Tomorrow I'll ask you. I'm trying, Pastor, and I'm in control. But I'm not doing it like religiously. Say
Okay.
But we are trying to balance the two so that we don't get like them staggering, like lacking behind.
That is fine. Mr. Apia, is it right or wrong that on Sunday your boss give you a call that I want you to perform this duty for me, for you to forgo church? Is it wrong or right?
It's a difficult question to respond. But for us, it is about 90% done like that.
Can you take it again?
For us, about 90% done like that.
Okay.
The type of work that we do is about 90% done that way. Most time, or many a time, you are called at the last hour I will give you a typical example.
I will be glad if you can answer the last part of my question. Is it wrong or right?
That's what I'm saying. It is a dicey question because from where I am coming from with my work, that's what I said, we do more like 90%. Maybe from Brabeje Bibi Sunday,
Okay.
and you can't say you want to go.
So meaning it's not wrong.
That's what I would say from on my part
Very
because
good.
we don't have the choice to say
And it's not right.
you won't go. And I'll just give an example. When Honorable Fusampofu had his funeral, even
Okay.
though it's a weekend, I'm just giving an example.
Right.
I think he called the then Eastern Regional Manager, who is here, who is also with us here. But
Okay.
he has moved to Accra. And he told me he was not there. And then he called me. And I told him I'm not in Eastern Region, I'm in Accra. Then I gave him the person in Eastern Region. Assuming I were to be in the Eastern Region, trust me, Saturday and Sunday, probably I wouldn't have even gone to church. I would have been there to ensure that things are done right. Are you getting it? So this is the kind of work that we do. And you can be called once a minister calls him that go and do, you only pick a phone and call you, go there and go and perform that duty. You can't say you won't go. So that is the kind of work that we find ourselves. And then that to answer what it says, sometimes you realize that you fall so much that you're unable to do your Sunday. Coming to church here and there, it's an issue. But as much as we have the time, we want to make sure we are here to serve the Lord.
Okay. So Pastor wants to say something here.
Yeah, I'm taking myself back when I wasn't a pastor.
Oh, okay.
And I was working. You know, this issue of church and work balance is something that you need to consciously plan towards that and then work towards that. It doesn't mean that all the time you'll be at church. It can happen.
All right.
It can happen. But what you must do is that at any point in time at the workplace, make sure you overwork even your time. Make sure. In fact, that is what I want Christians to learn, where we offer more than the workplace is offering to us. If we don't do that, we will never grow the way we want to grow at the workplace. People go there and they want to do some balancing kind of things. It's just 8 hours work and I must do 8 hours. It's 5 o'clock, I'm going. No, you won't get it well. So for me, before full-time ministry, in most cases, I had some free time during the work dates because of Mami was in the Samakesi, I was here in Accra.
Okay.
I will make sure that there is no way 6:30 I won't be at the workplace. I will start. I was head of operations and I'm already at the office at 6:30. Sometimes I will stay there till about 7 p.m. In fact, I've even slept in my office for the next day before. Wow. So when you are that person who does so well and get things move so well in the office, and you even need office time to come to church, you will get it. So I was the evangelism ministry leader for the district.
Okay.
I was in Accra. But I will make sure, because when it is time for my service or program, I will make sure that by 4:30 I've left office. Okay. And nobody can complain. In fact, my boss will freely ask me to go. And I'm able to beat the traffic. By the 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'm already in Asamakesi and I'm doing the program.
Okay.
When it is Evangelism Ministries Week, I'll make sure that I will schedule and get leave time around that time. And then so you see that I'm doing so well at church, but not neglecting the work. But when you are the kind of person who wants to just be 8 to 5, and you come and you want to go to, no, your boss will not understand. And you create issues for yourself and even at the workplace. So I wish that let's overwork. Then when we also have the time, let's come to church. And when we come to church, to let our presence be felt. There are people who come to church almost virtually every day, and we don't even see them. They have come to work. That is church. That is not right. So wherever you are working within a committee, a squad these days, make sure you are really doing well. Then when you are not there, people will understand, and even God will understand.
Okay. So, Josephine, you wanted to say something?
Oh, it's just about what Pastor just said.
Okay.
My first job, I worked Sunday for continuously 2 years because I was working with an airline, and then our flight touches down. I think I'll leave on Sunday morning. So for continuously 2 years, I never went. But
Okay.
any other time I worked 6 days. I had 1 day off. I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember actually. So that day, whatever service they have, I'll just go. Because Sunday was a no for me.
Okay.
Every Sunday morning, I think we had a flight Sunday morning, and we lived there like 2 o'clock. So there's no way I'll get any church around that time, unless they have Sunday evening service or something. So I think the Sunday, they didn't see anything wrong with it because it was a normal working day. My off day was so the right or wrong didn't really come inside. But any other day you get, like Pastor is saying, you go to any other day service and make your presence felt. Then the other Sunday that I have to work, I work. And as he's saying, we sleep in the office. I don't know if it's accounting thing. We will go to work with, my boss was a workaholic. Can go to, because I wasn't married or had children by then, it now 7 a.m. The next day, 7 a.m., I'm now going home.
Okay.
So we work. So that off day, wherever there is service, I try to go so that I'll make up for the Sundays that I wasn't going.
Wow. Audience, any questions so far? Or contribution? Okay, contribution. All right.
Okay, thank you. Just a few. So the earlier question you asked about somebody has an order at 9 p.m., family is calling. Maybe just to put the question in context, because you added that it's an everyday thing or an often, something that happens often. With the exception of, the extremes like Mr. Okran's job, or if every time your orders would have to delay to the point where it goes into last minute, then we also have to look at your time management as an entrepreneur or as a business person. So if there are no, extremes where you can't do anything about it, then you need to also plan well so that you try and meet your orders in time in order to satisfy your clients and then your family. And then just shortly on what Pastor said, that overwork yourself or work more so that one day when you need a time. I'm asking if it's not contradictory to the topic, because if you have to stay in the office, go to the office very early or stay late, then, especially when you're a family person, then how then do you balance and also have your contribution felt at home? I don't know if the question is clear. And then just on a complimentary note, my wife always tells me that she often sees Mr. Okran at Texpo Market, so it's true, he does the shopping.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
I think what Pastor said, we shouldn't take it trust. What he meant is that when you get opportunity to work, you must be at work at the right time and work, so that when there's need for you to ask permission or something, to go and do something else, they know who a hard worker is. And if you are one of them, you'll be granted the permission easy. Because if I'm a boss and you work under me, and I see your output, when you ask permission, I don't make you even talk plenty. I'll just agree, and we can attest to that. But when you are a truant at work, and you want to use office time, like Pastor said, he sometimes leaves at 4:30 to drive to Asamankasi. I don't know how he would do it, to go and host a program. And he's truant. You come to me, a boss like that. Say 5 never point and born 5 now point. I say that is the naked truth. So let's understand the context. with which that suggestion is made. Thank you.
There wants that clarification so that people will get it right. So I said that I had that free space because Sofmami was in Asamakese, I was in Accra. So I go there mainly on Fridays and then come. In fact, I was coming on Monday morning. Wake up very early and then I set off on the Monday morning. So when I am here in Accra, those spaces are there for me. Then I use them so that when I am also over there and I need more time to be there, I can also get it from. And it works. It helps very, very well. I want us to try and move out from situation where we try, even at the workplace, to only give output as we think we are being paid. That is not right. That is not right. Always let's try to provide even more than what they are giving us. And once you do that, I'm telling you that the rise will be high. The rise will be very high. And you can also be able to balance still with the parents.
I just want to add something to you. See, what in our space, what I was trying to let us appreciate is that it's not that maybe you are not managing your time, but ours are, some of them are not just predictable. For instance, someone will just go and pour waste on the motorway, and the minister is passing, he sees this, they will just call you. You in the house, you can be at church, they will just call you. Make sure that waste over there, in the next 1 hour, everything is cleared. This is not that you didn't plan. You close Friday, got home, said nothing happened, and Sunday morning, they choose on the motorway, and they've called you. Will you say you have to wait till the next day, Monday morning? You go and see your letter in the office waiting for you. I mean, so some of these things, you have to be proactive. I mean, the moment they tell you, you need to quickly attend to that. Apart from that, ordinarily, you want to do your best to make sure that at least you close on time, or probably, even though we still have a lot of work to do. You can't, like, I was reading a book, it was saying that, look, you can't finish all your work. Work that you think you can wait till the next day or something, just leave them and then come. But there are some that probably you are just coming home. Say 6:30, 6, as Pastor would say, something you want to stay. As you're just about exiting, then there's a mail. Respond to the mail before you leave. What do? You have to wait and do that. These are, but they are not things that will happen every day. Thank you.
Okay, let me ask Pastor quickly before we take our last round of questions. Minister, or let me say, as a man, your family requires that you stay home with them, have a family time. You also want to attend church.
I am wondering. Yes, I'm really wondering why they want family time on a Sunday when they know my schedule as a person.
That is why I put it in two folds, as a minister and as a man. Okay. Yeah,
so when the need arises, you then have to also look at what is the situation. In most cases, you realize that you can do one, and then the other one, reasonably, everybody will understand why you couldn't attend to the other one. That one, you are able to manage it. But you can't be consistently say that when such issues comes up, I will go for church or I'll go for the family. But on the situation as it arises, then you are able to look at that. But in all cases, understand that you want to take care of the family, but you also want to take care of the work. And that is very, very important. And the two balances must always be in focus. You know, there is this thought and concept that came up along the way where people think that this one comes first, this one comes second, this one comes third. Okay. For me, I don't see them that way. What I see is the exigencies of the time and what is required at any point in time. Once you are able to decipher very well, then you know what to take and what to do. So, for instance, I mean, if it's nuclear family, you look at it that way. Sometimes you can even talk to your bosses, and then you see how you go about it. But it shouldn't be constantly, because it's family, I am leaving the church for the family. No, it doesn't happen that way. You must always look at which one, weighs more for you to attend to.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Josephine, what are some of the practical tips for finding time to devote our faith while still fulfilling work and family responsibilities?
Practical tips.
Practical tips.
I think, as Pastor said, you look at the timing and what is priority. You prioritize it.
Okay.
If you think you have time, weekends, you want for the family. And the question, I didn't get the question.
Yeah, you're on point.
Okay. And then you know this is God's time. May I have God's time? So you give God's time to God. Like, you balance it in a way that you don't get all of us. Like when we have a week like Pemem week, you come to church every evening. So you get them aware that this week, the whole evening is for church. And then you do it. But when it's not for church and you know, like the days you are not here, I make time. You spend a lot of time with them. And we come there, I watch the cartoons with them, try to understand. At times I don't even get it. So you balance that. I don't have really, I do A, I do B, I do C. But when what time it is and what they are doing, I try to get so much involved. When I'm not there, they know if I'm there, you'll be there. I don't know if I'm making sense.
So should we accept that notion that no one is too busy in life? It's just a matter of priorities?
Yes. That one I say, there's this saying that nobody's too busy for a call that they need.
Okay.
You know, some people are very busy. At times, I say 24 hours and so I pay 2 hours account. We can get so busy. I do get so busy. Like last month like this, I was fighting for a new contract. And then they will say, go and see this person. And the traffic's in town. At times, I leave them in school till like 5, which I'm not proud of. But traffic, we go to Accra and come. So when I have the time, I try to make time for them. I try to make time for the work too is important. So you balance the two in a way that you prioritize what at this time. Saturday, I know I'm home. I devote it. I don't go anywhere. We can play on the floor.
Okay. So Josephine is saying that one tip that we can use to blend or balance all these three, work, church, and our family, is time management. Mr. Apia?
Yes.
So please, you have number one, which is what? Time management. Priority. Okay. Send a better audience. Okay. Okay. Infinity. I'm picking point by point. We say tackle school. No, near you find a point. I'll go develop it. So we have time management and what? Priority. So, Mr. Okran.
Right.
The question here is, what are some of the practical tips that can help us balance our work, church, and family?
I think basically you need to make time. I wouldn't know much to add, but it's about making time.
Making time.
Because if you don't have the time, you can't really balance these things.
Okay.
Your work, church, and then home. It's about time. How to manage your time. It is difficult many a time. Very, very difficult. But you have to.
Okay.
You have to, because if you don't make conscious effort, you can't do it. It is not easy. Sometimes at a point, I saw myself sometimes maybe failing one of them, especially home, because I'll get home so tired. Sometimes I'll be eating, I'll be sleeping. And I said, what at all are we looking for in this world? I'll be so tired. But then you come and you want to find out the one in school, the one who went to work. How did he go? I have 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. The boy is working. He will come home quite late many a time. So sometimes we'll call and find out where he is. But for the one in school, a few times I call. But the one who is also, normally I'll come meet her in the house. I'll find out how did work go and stuff like that. So you have quite a few times to find out from everybody on a daily basis. And that's what too. But then on weekends, if I'm home, I make sure at least we are together time. Other than that, if you don't have that, you may think they are grown. And for that matter, you want to leave them on their own. Try it, and you have problems. So you need to make time to find out a few things. I'm not able to do more than their mother, but at least the little time that I get, I ensure that I do these things with them to at least sometimes sit him down. For instance, last week, David, we sat down for like almost 1 hour, wanting to find out life, what are the things that he wants to do the next year or two. We're trying to, but if you want to say, he will go to somebody somewhere who will advise him, and then that advice will not really augur well for him tomorrow. So I think, to augment what my sister said, Sabata, you need to have time for the family. Basically that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Okran. Tactically, Pastor, do we have some?
Yeah, I think these days we need to multitask. If you don't have that skills, learn it so that you can do more at a short moment. In that case, you can create the time that we are talking about, because you need to create time.
Okay.
So once you can multitask, and these days we have tools that can help you do that, especially where you can do online stuff and so on, and so you can be at work and still doing things also, somewhere that will combine, but you still be productive enough as supposed to be. Then also, let's share our burden, okay? Especially in the family aspect. Let them know what you are going through, and let them know your schedule. Sometimes men create issues for ourselves because we don't share enough. The women are good at doing that. They will tell you, even when their hair is paining them, they will tell you. But as men, most men, we don't want to. So even our schedule for the day, we don't even want to share with our wife. And it creates a lot of burden in the house. So if you know you have a very busy schedule, let your wife know, let the family know. Let them also know how they can manage it with you, so that you are still able to make it with them. Else, you always be creating
Pastor, so
issues.
In this scenario, can we also say communication? Proper communication can be another tip?
Very, very important. Proper communication. Okay. Like for tomorrow, for instance, I have to go for chaplaincy services. We have to do the child education. We have to do the women's ministry early morning stuff.
Okay.
I have to go to the area office. And all of that must happen before at least 10 o'clock. If they could have been spread, over the time, it could have been much easier for me. So Mommy knows that until around 11 o'clock, I won't be in the house, in the mission house. Because she also knows how things are going to be difficult for me in the early morning of tomorrow. And then with the planning, you are able to make it go. But if you don't communicate, then they will expect so much from you at some point that you can't also do so much about.
Okay, so the tips, those who couldn't write, we have multitasking, we have priority, we have burden sharing, we have time management, communication, and the last one is planning. If you don't plan, it wouldn't help you at the long run. Please, do you want to say something before I go to the audience? Edatani,
I want to say that maybe you can add to it that our children have memory.
Memory.
And, they have memory,
okay,
which is very important, because I remember my kids are almost teenagers. They are growing, so they can tell you things. When they have issues or you are talking to them and you ask them, there was a time when you asked them to go and talk to their mother. They have a name they have coined for their mother. And then it means that their mother is not always available.
Okay.
The kids will tell you that. So the first time they said it, I didn't understand. So I asked them what they mean. And then they explained to me that my wife would tell them, oh, mi bus is here, then off. Mi bus is here in the morning, which means like this. And then you see her at night when they are going to sleep. So when they see my wife, Then they'll be saying, "Me boss is here." She doesn't know what is happening. Uh-huh. And then, okay, that's okay. If that is for my wife, what about me? And they say, "Oh, how are you?" I said, "What is the meaning of how are you?" Then they say, "Oh, Daddy, how are you?" Then I realized that the how are you is not enough. The job that you do, the how are you is not enough.
Okay.
And then if you are going somewhere and you'll be late or it will take your time, there are keys they will understand, explain to them, like the panelists have said, why you are not coming this time and you come that time, so that they don't give you a name. And as they have given you the name and they are growing, what it means is that when you need them to spend time with you, they will also say, "Me bas is here," and then you will not see them. So this is an advice to all of us. The how are you, asking your child, asking your child how are you is not enough. It is not enough. So like our sister said, me, I have movie night. When I'm home, I have movie night. I have Bible study. I have variety of things that I do. If there's a Saturday or there's a day I'm home that I will not be, I block, not that there are no activities. I deliberately block the day, and then the whole day will be home. We watch TV, we talk about the Bible later, we play, we do the homework. That is when I'm able. I do that with them for them to see that if I am not busy, I can do all this. So that it's not only the how are you. So it is important we understand this, and then we are able to manage this with the kids so they understand. That is a bit I want to add.
Okay, so create a memory is another tip we can use. So, Mr. Okran.
Yes, I just want to add a little to what
Okay.
our cinnamon said. Please, our men here, let us make time for our children especially.
Okay.
For the women, we know we are always there with them, but many a time we neglect the children. And like he's saying, you see, I told myself something because I didn't get from my father.
Okay.
Now, what I didn't get from my father, I don't want my children to lose. And for that matter, I'll make sure I do that. Like, that how are you crying? My father will not even tell you how are you crying? So I look like I'll be a child. About one cheer cry, she will question they will pure. I'll cover one class or quadruma. He has no business with you. For your homework, or not school, no your homework amount. Are you getting it? So if we have had opportunity today and we are able to do certain things that our children can appreciate, please don't let us shun them. You see, this and when you do them, you bring them closer to you. Let us do that. Let us do that. I said it earlier, those who know you that I want my children also to be with me. Not that I'm trying to be jealous that they have to go to their mother, not at all. But I also want to create an environment that they will also come to me. It is very important as fathers here. And for the mother, they are doing it already. But with the fathers, we don't have the time to do that. Let us deliberately create that situation, and it will pay tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
The last thing I'll say that with the families, those of us that our children are growing up, we can have this normal family platform, this WhatsApp page that you have, that you can communicate that Pastor was saying.
Okay.
These are some of the ways that you can really communicate. At every point in time, you put something there, and the others will see, and then they can either respond or whatever. You know, it's very, very important. I went to the village over the weekend. Once I got there, I just put on the page, I've arrived, and every now and then we'll communicate on the page. I can call them, but at least whatever I put there, they all see that there's something there. They know what is happening, and it's very, very important.
Wow.
Thank you.
Sama.
I just wanted to add something to what Elder Taniwu said. And
Okay.
it is true because my first son, Jeremy,
The footballer.
yes, he's good with retentive memory. So I remember one day I came back home, and then my mother-in-law, she used to live with us for some time. So she called me and said that my son has complained to him that anytime he sees me, it means he's either being beaten or he's being shouted at, So I thought it was, or maybe it was a one-time comment, but I realized that it was something that I was doing. So it got to a time that I wasn't even beating him, because one day Elder Amos Kevin Annan came here, and he told us that he decided that every time they say daddy will come and beat you, he'll say, okay, it's mommy's turn to beat you. So because over time, it's like the children know that it's only daddy that beats. So daddy there beating, mommy there is love.
Yeah, right.
So we have to be adaptive, because if you don't do that, times are changing, and we sometimes think that children do not learn quickly or know things that we know. But for example, I'm here. My wife is not here. My children are home. They probably have homework. So they know that the little ones will do their homework. Jeremy will inspect the homework. I will inspect Jeremy's homework, and then they go to sleep. So if you don't adapt, and I wasn't beating him. So recently I was talking to my wife, and he did something. And I was telling him that I've become emotional. If I have to beat him, I have to go through so many emotions before I beat him. Also come to that. He knows that this one will require you to be punished, this one. So if you don't adapt, because times change, like our sister mentioned, you are in a corporate setting, so maybe switches to being entrepreneur, working for herself. The time she probably had has changed. So you can't expect her to be doing the same thing she was doing when probably she was working. Maybe now she has more time. Probably now she has lesser time. So if you don't adapt, then you may miss out on family time as well.
Okay. So
I think I'll ask a question.
let me attend to my brother there first.
Okay, please, mine is a contribution.
Okay.
In as much as we are men,
Can you draw the mic closer to your
Yes,
mouth?
okay, so you have to leave. See you in, because he has to lock the doors and what have you.
Okay.
So the time even for you to be like, okay, let me help you at the kitchen is not there. So you come, your food is served, you just eat and you sleep. Now this routines continues for years. What we have to know as men is that the routine will one day change. And how does it change? By you retiring. When you retire, it takes away like 70% of your doing, of your routine. That's you going to work. What is left is maybe you coming to evening service, or maybe going, hanging around. But 70% of your routine has cut off. So you are now in the house. Now the routine has changed. Mind you, your children, maybe some will be working or still be schooling. And this time for them to have to make time with you as dad wouldn't be there. What you have to know too is that your wife is still working. So you also wake at that early to go to work. Your children will also leave early to go to school or to go to work. Please, when it comes to this, don't see it as punishment. Yes, because the Bible says, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. So if you had been with them, they know that Daddy has once been with us. So even you being with them also creates some kind of scene or some kind of routine also in the house that Daddy does this before we all leave the house.
Okay.
So it reciprocates. So what I'm trying to say is that don't see it as punishment. because the routine has now changed. You are now on retirement, but your wife, as well as your children, are still working. So maybe weekend that you are in the house, you have to help in the kitchen wasn't there, because even weekend you take it to even say football or whatever, you go and watch football and whatever. So by this, you retiring, it may happen that you come to the kitchen to come and help your wife, and your wife will take the ladder to hit your hand, and you'll be like, what? You'll be like, but this is not your place.
Okay.
Like I said, never let it be a punishment unto us.
Okay.
So it's an advice to us
All right.
as men.
So, last question. Okay. I think we don't have any more questions. Let me come back to our panelists for their last comments. So, starting from you, Josephine, what do you want to say today?
Okay. In all, I think we've all learned. I've learned new things,
A
and
lot.
then somebody will have heard something. But all I'm saying is that our family is our family.
Okay.
God is God. Our work is, all the three are very important things that we can't do without. The Bible says that the hand that doesn't work shouldn't eat. And then we can't live without giving reference to the one who created us.
That's right.
And our families are a responsibility. I take this thing as a responsibility. Family is something that God one day asks us.
It's a full institution.
It is full. I don't know, I'm sure. I do that thing with so much care because I don't want to be future basa because of me. So we should try as much as we can to balance the three as much as we can with the help of God. I pray about this thing a lot. I don't know if I'm too scared, but I pray about it a lot so I don't mess anybody's future. It wouldn't be through me that somebody will not know God or will miss something. So we should try as much as we can as fathers to be there for our kids.
Okay.
Because as for the mothers, but the fathers to try. Because you would think that the mothers are inciting them against you. And now, no. The children have, I don't know the kind of children we brought to the world now. The things that they know now, we don't have any idea. So to try to be there for them, incorporate them, instill God in them, and then do our work with all diligence. And then at the end, I think we'll make something good out of ourselves and for them.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Okran.
Thank you very much. What I want to say that we as parents should not shirk our responsibilities at the expense of our work, that we'll work, and then we'll leave our children. I used to teach, and you realize that children or the people know us even more than their parents.
That is right.
And I see mobile schools, parents want their children to be in school, so they can't have time to do their own thing. And it is bad. It is really bad. Parents, let us make time. You see, now, when we find ourselves, we are chasing money so much at the expense of our children and in church. Out for that, most of us are even guilty. Church is out. Work is only work. Church and families are out. But at the end of the day, God says, I would not know you. And what the mama will say also happened to you. What are you happening? Osrapo, Asasiapo, where are you going? Are you getting it? So don't let us be human happening. So the church will not neglect us. Tomorrow, one day, Jesus will say, I don't know you. But on earth too, your wife and your children also pay you and say they also don't know you. Then you are in trouble. And you will cry, come have my heaven your way. Heaven supua asamato. So please let us make time for church, which I want to do my best to be sure I put myself in that situation, and let us make time for our families because they will be there for us tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to add that work-life balance is very important.
Okay.
And sometimes, even now, we are talking about the church, the work, and also the family. And we take ourselves also out. That is also very important. So that we don't just allow work to take totality of our lives, that even ourselves, our families, and then our dealing with God is taken out. Normally, we want to see the work as the one that is giving us the money. But what sustains your ability to provide that money and the work you do is the family, the God you serve, and your very self body. So if you want to look at the work without those other aspects, you see that you don't have the very good blocks to sustain what you are talking about. And then when you come back, you realize that, like Waboka, it shouldn't be the case. So let's always be conscious of that and be able to balance all of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's give it to them. This evening, we've really learned a lot. I think the last night I was just praying about this topic, what I can pick from today's service. And God being so good, we've come a long way and we've learned a lot. For me, let me say, as a fashion designer, at times, especially Fridays, Saturdays, I become more than the word busy, in the sense that people are taking their apparels for Saturday wedding. Some are taking it for Sunday service. Here be the case, you can't afford to disappoint them. Your wife too needs you in the house. So what do? Are you supposed to disappoint them so that you go and then they will take their monies away or what? You need the l'argent and you need the goodie. So it becomes very problematic. Assuming, let me say, Eda Siade, who is into printing and others. Someone has placed order that my wedding is tomorrow. We need the cards to share or something. You can't afford to disappoint that person. So I was thinking about this thing a lot, and God being so good, we've come out with a lot of tips on how we can manage or balance all these things. God bless you so much, Pastor. Mr. Okran, we appreciate you for coming. Miss Josephine. Let's give it to them.